Good morning, everybody. Welcome into Coffee Break presented by Bath Fitters. We hope you all are having a wonderful Tuesday and happy Valentine's Day. We do want to start off the show by passing along our thoughts and prayers and condolences to Michigan State University as they dealt with a horrible situation yesterday. So, of course, we send our love over that way. But, of course, also, we're just excited to have everybody here with us on this Tuesday. Again, we hope you are having a wonderful Valentine's Day and feeling the love. And thanks for hanging with us for the next 45 minutes as we're going to be talking a few things Broncos involving Carolina as well, and then we're going to really get into the Nuggets and the Avs too. So it's going to be a good show. Hang out with us for the next 45 minutes, and let's have a wonderful Tuesday. Roll the open. Let's go. DMAC, good morning. Hello, how are you?
Rachel, you look wonderful. What time is the limo coming to take you to the prom?
Thank you. This was the only red thing I actually had in my closet, and I was like, we have to wear something festive. So no limo. I will actually just be hanging out with some girlfriends later tonight for Valentine's. My boyfriend is traveling back from work.
What? Wait a second.
Tonight.
What?
I know. So I got to be hanging out with some girls tonight.
Galentine's. Okay.
Valentine's Day.
When
Drink
I
some
was in
wine,
high
hang
school,
out, have talk gossip, you know?
yeah, I'll be at the Avs game tonight, and I did ask my wife. Now we've been together since 1988, so I did ask my wife, "Would you like to come to the game? We can get some tickets, sit together." She loves hockey. And she goes, "I'd rather be at home with the cats." So sometimes Valentine's Day takes on different meanings after a while. I'll tell you really quick. My high school used to do this torturous thing as a fundraiser. You could buy a white balloon for "I like you," a pink balloon for "I'm interested in you," or a red balloon in terms of "I love you." The peer pressure that put on people on Valentine's Day in my high school was unlike any other. I mean, I think they had some of the best intentions, but by sixth period, you really knew where you stood in the world. I mean, when you think of the absolute cruelty of one person walking around like they're in the movie Up, and somebody else just, I don't have any balloons, and then God forbid you send a pink balloon to a girl and she sends you back a white balloon, and then it's just like, yeah, I gotcha. And then I thought, who thought of this insane idea in a high school for Valentine's Day? And only something you could concoct in the 80s with the movie The Breakfast Club. So there you go.
There you go. I'm glad we don't do that anymore. Although
Yeah.
it's a wonderful ploy because I'm sure they made so much money on those balloons.
I don't know. I mean, I can just, you can give the school like $300 and we can stop the torture of teenage children. That's the emotional. I mean, think about that for a second. If you got no balloons, Rachel, nobody likes you,
That's so
nobody's
sad.
interested in you, nobody loves you. that is brutal.
No, that really is. It's funny because I never used to really believe in, high school relationships lasting or whatever. And then my sister married her high school sweetheart. And I was like, well, it does happen. And they are happily married. They're going on like 11 years or whatever. So I'm like, it does happen. You can meet the love of your life in high school.
It can happen. It can. But you got to give me the history behind that shirt because that looks like something out of Seinfeld with the big shoulders and the blouse. I mean, what? I mean, seriously, what is going on there?
It's just an Amazon shirt. I'm a big Amazon girl, if you didn't know. And it's actually a dress. It's a dress.
It is a dress.
It is a dress.
Oh, all right. Okay. It's like, you do look like you're going to the prom. All right. Well, you look wonderful. Happy Valentine's Day.
Thank you. Yeah. Happy Valentine's Day to everybody in the comment. Somebody saying Draymond Jones is a man. Did you see his tweet? Yes. And I am not wearing red for the Kansas City Chiefs, everyone. It's Valentine's Day. If I was going to do red, I would have worn it yesterday. I'm not crazy. I know where I stand. But did you see Draymond's tweet?
He hates the Chiefs. We like to see that. Good for Draymond Jones. I'm glad he hates
Does that
the
mean
Chiefs.
he's still invested?
I think he's probably playing both sides of the fence right now. He's not exactly sure where it's going to go. He may be excited about Sean Payton and realize I think a lot of players, and we're hearing things leak out that's not surprising about what a mess it really was. So you turn around, there's a new boss, there's a new energy, you put a little time behind the scenes, and all of a sudden you feel like, all right. If we just change this, if we change that, everybody does seem to believe in Russ. They do. Unless everybody's just flat out lying to us that works in that organization. They do seem to believe in him, and they all the blame does seem to go to Nathaniel Hackett. So I think Draymond knows that you got to be a little careful in this situation, and you can write everything off to bad season, bad coach, everything. So you're not really held accountable for anything moving forward because everything has changed. So I think it's unfair to classify Draymond or any player as feeling one specific way because everything's changed around him. So I'll take him at his word. He hates the Chiefs. Cool. He's due like $18 million a year payday, either on a tag or a new contract. So it's probably a good time to just show, aside from going to the Chiefs, that you're happy to be where your heart is, which is in Denver, Colorado.
Yeah. Someone says, tell us the content of the leaks. Is there anything new that you've learned as of recently about
No. Right? It's all the same.
Okay.
This has literally happened for every team I've covered since the mid '90s. It's nothing shocking or new. It's all just things were a mess, Rachel. It's just an assortment of things were a mess. So it's nothing to even specifically point out. You just get it. Then there are some things that you can figure out, like when Melvin Gordon talks at the Super Bowl about things. It's not hard to read between the lines, and I get it. Everybody hates Melvin Gordon, that sort of thing. But it's not like there aren't shards of truth in there. And no, it's every losing team, Rachel, every season, every sport, when the season's over, the rats jump off the ship and people talk smack. The pro sports is a gossipy business. Look at Bones Highland and what he's been saying about the Nuggets now that he's in Clipperville. So it's no different than any of that.
Well, we're going to get into Bones Highland here in just a little bit. But first of all, let's talk about what's going on in Carolina because, DMAC, it seems like they are putting together an all-star staff over there with a lot of familiar names here that the Broncos obviously know. The top one, I would say, leading it off is Ejiro Evero, now as their defensive coordinator. But they really just seem to be kind of locking it in here. I mean, look at that. Jim Caldwell, the Broncos obviously interviewed him. You've got Evero, like I mentioned. Don Capers is obviously familiar to the Broncos. There's a lot of names in that list.
Yeah, and a couple of Broncos guys in there too. So good job for Frank Reich establishing his staff. He didn't have to be at work last week for another employer. He was able to just work for the Panthers, not for a TV network. And I have no doubt Sean Payton was hard at work on Zoom, and now he's back in the office. Listen, we'll get there eventually. It's been an interesting process between working for a TV network and, golf appointments, and it's like we'll get to it. But I think there's no panic. You are going to have to move relatively quickly in terms of assistance, or you're going to miss out. Likely, Rachel, this is a 2-year overhaul. That's my guess. It's a 2-year overhaul. So I'm okay. I'm fine with figuring it out. There'll be people who are going to be hired on this staff this year who are not going to be on the staff next year because it just doesn't quite work. That happens all the time. And hopefully you find a good rhythm with whoever you're bringing in the system that you establish. So good for the Panthers. Awesome for them. Who's their quarterback? And then you just kind of go from there.
What do you think about Derek Carr? And I don't know if I want to call it the drama, but kind of sticking to his guns and saying, no, you're not going to trade me. You're going to be forced to release me. And do you think he could end up in Carolina?
Well, it's a hell of a move.
I love it.
Because there's no guarantee. You get traded, you get your salary. I mean, maybe you rework your contract once you get traded. Maybe that's worked out ahead of time. But I don't know. If you get traded, you're traded with your salary. The team's accepting you with that salary. If you just get cut, I mean, okay, great. The team that cuts you doesn't get anything. But there's no guarantee that you get anything either. So it's a hell of a power move, and it's a hell of a bet on himself. He seriously, Rachel, may be giving up a few $1 million for spite. So I love it. I mean, that's fantastic. It's highly unusual. They're going to move on from him anyway.
Oh, no. No. We'll give it a second. You never know. He might be getting a phone call, everybody, which means that we're gonna hear some drama when he comes back. I love the Derek Carr move. I'm personally like all for it. Oh, who called you?
Rachel, there's people in my life that really should know better, and they don't. I don't know what to say. Everybody knows what I do between 10:30 and 11:15, and I'll leave it there to protect the innocent. Anyways, with Derek Carr, I think it's an awesome story. I think it's a lot of fun, and we'll see how many millions he actually cost himself. We'll just base whatever he makes on what he would have made if he was traded. But he's really sticking it to the Rangers because he hates their guts, which
I
is I
love
fully
it.
support.
Me too. I love the move. I think it is. I think you do have to bet on yourself. I'm sure he's had conversations with other teams that are like, hey, like, I can still play. You know, I can still play. It's just a bad situation out there in Las Vegas. I love it. I'm all for betting on it. Moving on to the Nuggets, though, they got snubbed. DMAC, they got snubbed when it came to the 3-point contest. So Shams tweeted out everybody that's going to be available for that. Not a single nugget, and this makes no sense to me considering that KCP would have the highest 3-point percentage when you actually show it the list. So yeah, there's the list, the highest 3-point, and KCP would actually be above everybody on that list. I believe he's at 44.9%. That is crazy to me that he is not involved in this. It's the respect, DMAC. It's the respect that I hear all the time about how nobody in the Nuggets organization, except for Jokic a little bit now, is getting any sort of respect.
You could have, well, certainly should have had KCP shooting over 47%, which would be tops over everybody in the 3-point contest. Never mind Jason Tatum, who's shooting like, what, 35, 33?
Yeah.
I don't know, something ridiculously low, but Jason Tatum's a big star.
Yep.
Okay. Then you don't have Jamal Murray, who's, borderline all-star period, who's a great 3-point shooter, and Michael Porter Jr. This is ridiculous. You don't have anybody in the dunk contest because Aaron Gordon said he would do the dunk contest if he was an all-star. He should be both. Then in the Rising Star Challenge, you have Bones Highland of the Clippers. So what the NBA is essentially saying is that Nikola Jokic is doing all of this by himself.
Yeah.
So if you wanted an argument, I mean, I think this is disrespectful and ridiculous. But if you wanted an MV3 argument, you don't get any better than this. Mm-hmm. So you're telling me, NBA, Nikola Jokic is literally, I guess, according to you, doing all of this by himself. We don't have any other All-Stars on the team. We don't have anybody in any of the premier talent contests. We do have the coaching staff coaching in the All-Star game. So I guess it's the coaches and Jokic. Mm-hmm. That's it. So if it's the coaches and Jokic, then Michael Malone should win Coach of the Year, and Jokic should win the MVP. Slam dunk. I mean, Rachel, there's only like 20-something games left. They won a great game last night, 7 guys in double figures, right before the All-Star break in Miami. Loads of distraction when you go into Miami, and they won that game without 2 starters. High quality win and a snub, a real snub. Embarrassment for the NBA. KCP deserves it, Rachel. I mean, how do you not reward the best percentage 3-point shooter in the league?
You're telling me I don't get it, and maybe it's because, again, he's not this like huge name, but it doesn't matter. It's like you said, the highest percentage right there. We saw it. Like the numbers don't lie, so I'm just confused by it. So Jake, explain it to me.
Well, KCP is actually 3rd highest in the league behind Isaiah Joe and Malcolm Brogdon. Crazier stat for you. We just showed the list. Jason Tatum is obviously in the 3-point contest, deservedly so. He's a great shooter. There are 12 Nuggets shooting higher from 3-point range than Jason Tatum this year. 12. The Nuggets are the best 3-point shooting team in the NBA, and they don't have a single representative in this contest. There's actually 5 on the front page of 3-point shooters on NBA.com in their 3-point shooting category, which I think is the top 50. So the Nuggets have been awesome from 3-point range, and we know KCP has been saying over and over, "Hey, I'd love to do this competition. Like I'm down to go to Utah. Like I'm not going to pass it up." So DMAC's totally right. Like, how do we end up in a situation where we go, there's Nikola Jokic, the coaching staff's pretty good. They got nobody else. Like, you might as well just give him the MVP again if that's
right.
Yeah.
I mean, it's so absurd. Now, of course, none of this is true, but this just goes to show what the rest of the NBA actually thinks of the Nuggets. So if you're going to be consistent, just give Jokic the MVP right now. I guess that's what you're telling me. And guys, how in the world is his performance going to dip in the final 25 games of the season compared to what we've already seen? I mean, it's done. It's a wrap. Now we'll see if he can average a triple double for the rest of the year. He's gonna be darn close, and it's gonna be assists that may hang him up just a bit. But I think he gets it because why? Here's why he gets it, guys. Because of how good the rest of the team is. That's why he's doing better in assists and lower in points, and the rest of the NBA doesn't recognize it. He's doing better because he's dishing to KCP or Vlatko, who had a great game yesterday, or, a two-man game with MPJ or hitting, Aaron Gordon underneath. I mean, they're just a great, great team. Yeah. And the fact that Jokic is doing so much better in assists, excuse me, doesn't seem to translate to anybody, which is bananas. I mean, how do people think the Nuggets are actually doing this? Only two teams have 40 wins before the All-Star break, and Jason Tatum is in there? I mean, ridiculous.
So on your triple-double point, D-Mac, Nikola Jokic currently has 5 assists over the amount he would need to average 10 over 50 games, which is 505 assists on the season. He's currently 3 points under the mark of what he would need to average 25 points per game this season. And of course, his rebound numbers are there. So he right now is on the plus side. He's got a little wiggle room to play with, but projecting the final 20 games of the season, he's going to need to get 10 assists every time he steps on the floor, set for a couple nights where he can only get 9. So he's really got not a lot of wiggle room to play with to become, I think, the third player in NBA history to average a triple-double for an entire season. Russell Westbrook did it a couple times. Oscar Robertson did it as well. Nikola Jokic would do it on the most insane efficiency anyone's ever seen. Last night, he had a great game. D-Mac didn't even mention this. He went 12 of 14 from the field. Mm-hmm. He was awesome.
Let me tell you a real quick story. I highly recommend on Netflix the documentary about Bill Russell. It just came out and it's fantastic. Bill Russell won 11 championships with the Celtics, 2 as a player coach. Imagine that. Bill Russell averaged an astounding 22.4 rebounds a game. Ridiculous. Mm-hmm. Points, he averaged like 15 points a game. Assists, 5. He had a lot of block shots too, so better there. So what you're but Bill Russell was a winner. I mean, he won championships. Nobody now is questioning Jokic as a basketball player. We're getting into legacy time with Jokic. He's a slam dunk Hall of Famer, just as it is. His greatness is comparable to the greatest of all time, period. Mm-hmm. It's about legacy right now. And I think he knows it. He's 27 years old. Hey, and you know what, Rachel? Probably more than one, in all honesty.
I'm thinking
Well, I mean, Bill Russell has 11. And, to think that Bill Russell was just playing against plumbers is ridiculous. He was playing against Wilt Chamberlain for the most part. And I think Wilt got over on him one time in the course of his 13-year career. Once. And he played against Chamberlain the vast majority of his career. So, okay, fine. I think we can take this disrespect as Nuggets fans for everything else. It really is about something else for us. And maybe we shouldn't be surprised by all this. We know better than most on this one. And now it's time to turn our eyes towards legacy and championships and not just one. And I think that's the challenge Jokic has to face. He's raised the bar that high.
Oh, yeah. I mean, expectations are here. Literally, I'm pretty sure people are even more high on this Nuggets team than they were the Avs team last year to win the Stanley Cup final. Real quick, if they fall short this year, does Michael Malone get fired?
No. What does falling short to you constitute? If they lose in the first round, sure, that's a real discussion. If they make it to the Western Conference Finals, there's no chance.
Okay.
I don't think there's a chance no matter what happens. I think Michael Malone is deeply embedded in this organization. And the day that he's not the coach is the day that he decides to not be the coach. That's how ingrained I think Michael Malone actually is. I don't think he's on any kind of hot seat whatsoever, nor do I think Jared Bednar is. Despite the volatile nature of these sports, I think Michael Malone can easily coach this Nuggets team throughout the entire. I mean, all right, I'll give you one out. For whatever reason, he gets on the wrong side of Jokic. Okay, I mean, and I don't think he will. So I'm not predicting that. But Jokic is the most important player in the organization's history, most important player in the organization right now. And I think there's a significant reason why Bones Highland isn't here anymore. I don't think Jokic had anything personal against Bones, but I think Jokic was sick of his act. And when you get on the wrong side of Jokic, you're gone, period. Rightfully so.
I agree. Well, let's talk about Bones Highland because he's obviously making headlines again. And yesterday on Coffee Break, I said, we wish him best of luck. We don't have to deal with him anymore. In water presented by Bath Fitter. Heck, I'm like, whatever. We don't have to deal with him. It is whatever, blah, blah, blah. And James Marilat said, well, Rachel, hold on. Roll the clip, Jake.
Okay.
Well, luckily, we don't have to worry about Bones anymore. We wish him best with the Clippers, and we can focus on a hopeful. Oh, James, why are you giving me that look?
We may see Bones again. You never know.
I hope we do. I hope we do.
I hope we do too.
I'm here for the chaos and the drama. I hope we do.
Throw Ish Smith on him. See how that goes. Okay.
Well, all right. So I was wrong. I'll admit it. I thought we weren't going to be hearing about Bones Highland anymore. JK, he throws us with some shade at Jamal Murray, I think. I think, you guys. Okay, so it says Bones Highland was asked about playing with Nikola Jokic and Jamal Murray and now Kawhi and PJ. It was a great experience playing with Joker. Two guys over here who are phenomenal talents, and over there there's one guy with phenomenal talent as well. Ouch, Bones Highland. D-Mac, your main reaction.
He's very immature. I like him. I really enjoyed talking with him over the past year and a half. His backstory with what he went through with his grandmother and other relatives is absolutely heartbreaking. So it's a bummer because everybody loved Busy Bones for a while, no doubt about it. And he needs to go somewhere else and grow up. And I hope he has that opportunity with the Clippers. I wish him absolutely positively no ill will. But he has blown his chance to be a highly contributing member to a championship level team. That is not going to happen with the Clippers. I don't know if it's ever going to happen with the Clippers, and I don't know if it's ever going to happen again in his career. He defensively is a massive liability that they were working on with him here. He's a tremendous ball handler, and he's a sporadic shooter. But his high energy really does lift up certain types of teams. And the team that it lifted up last year was a team struggling to make the playoffs. It's not what you need on a championship level team like the Nuggets are right now. I wish him the best. And I would think a few years from now, he'll look back on his comments. And I mean, Jamal Murray is a true star in the NBA. He's somebody you can learn from. He's somebody that you can grow with and be mentored by. And Bones just wasn't ready for that, I guess.
I just don't understand the shade. Like, we're moving past it. That's where I am frustrated. But also, too, when you watch it, and Jake did a wonderful article yesterday at DenverSports.com. Check it out, and you can see, like, the full video included with it. I also don't know if he 100% was intentionally throwing shade. So, Jake, I want to get your opinion on that, because if he did it very sneakily.
I don't think it was that subtle. But he also tweeted out that, quote, my headline on my story was throws a shot at Nuggets and Jamal Murray. I thought it was pretty clear. Then he tweets out, ain't no shot I threw, blah, 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 blah. Then he responded to his own tweet with a video of him and Jamal being all cutesy. Like, he's like, this is my boy for real, blah, blah, blah. Just because you say after the fact that this is my guy doesn't mean you didn't throw the shot. Now, maybe he got caught up in the air because Paul George, Kawhi Leonard, and Nikola Jokic have been all-stars. Jamal Murray is not. But you can't look me dead in the face and tell me Paul George is phenomenal talent and Jamal Murray isn't. Like, the last time I saw Paul George do something notable, he was hitting the side of the backboard as his team collapsed from a 3-1 series against the Denver Nuggets in the bubble. Like,
Yeah.
Paul George, come on, man. But you're right, D-Mac. You know what? Bones might not even be a contributor on this Clippers team because there's a bunch of smoke about them going out and getting Russell Westbrook in the buyout market. And they've got Terrence Mann, who's their starting point guard right now. They cleared the way with the Wall and Reggie Jackson trades to get Terrence Mann in there. So we're looking at Bones Highland as potentially being bench rider in LA as well. So, yeah, Bones might have lost his opportunity here. Now, even if he does get in, it's not like he's going to be taking the shots when Kawhi and Paul George are on the floor. And then they've also got Norm Powell, who also takes a lot of shots. So, Bones, forget about him. Like, we're not, the Nuggets fans aren't going to be thinking about him. It's going to be like the Yusuf Nurkic situation where I think very quickly here, everyone's going to be like, all right, it was fun. It could have been something, but that guy blew it and, get lost. He's here, I think, February 26th on a Sunday night game on ESPN, and that'll be really interesting.
Do the Nuggets show a highlight video thanking Bones?
They're pretty classy. And D-Mac, this is something to consider. If the Nuggets win a title this year, Bones Highland will get a ring. So I think they're going to try and keep it less awkward than it perhaps is.
But wouldn't it be great if the highlight video was at 9:45 left in the fourth quarter? They just show him running into the tunnel.
Be great.
That would Bones Highland night, and it's just the video of him running into the tunnel because he's upset.
That would actually be very funny. Okay, we did have a question real quick. Says Nuggets injuries, Murray especially. Are you guys at all concerned about Jamal Murray at this moment, Jake?
Yeah, I mean, you have to be. And it's his other knee. It's not the knee that's been surgically repaired that's bugging him. And you talk to athletes like I did Nate Jackson Friday night on the drive, and he always talks about when he came back from a leg injury, it's his other leg that would get sore because he would be maybe running a little bit different or something like that. Now, I do think the Nuggets are being extra cautious because it's sore. They had an opportunity to sit him for a week before the All-Star break, then take another week off. So essentially, Jamal Murray's getting 2 weeks off in a time where the Nuggets are only playing 3-4 games. So I think the Nuggets are being extra cautious, and I'm not like 10 alarm bells yet, but I am watching it to be concerned.
There's only 7 teams in the league that have a 500 or better road record. 7 out of 30 teams. That's wild. And the Nuggets now, because they won 2 out of 3 on the road, are one of them. Guys, they just won 2 out of 3 on the road right before the All-Star break. And the game they lost was disappointing to Orlando, but they rebounded so nicely. I like the matchup with Kyrie Irving and Jamal Murray out on the court. I mean, theoretically, which would be tomorrow night, but I don't like it that much. My concern level is I'm okay with it because I know how much rest is coming up. And I also know, Jake, if I'm not mistaken, I think there might be one more back-to-back the rest of the year. If not one, maybe nothing. I mean, there are more road games. There are. I think they have like 10 home games, 13 road games, something like that. But it's pretty balanced. And there's nothing crazy after the All-Star break. So I'm fine with this because it's going to give Jamal, basically 2 weeks off with the All-Star break because we'll need Jamal to be, his real Jamal self. But I don't mind other breaks because it doesn't matter this year except for the postseason. The Nuggets are going to relatively easily cruise to first place in the West. They may not have a better record than Boston. I mean, okay, but I don't think that's, worth killing yourself over.
So to your point, D-Mac, they finished the season with 3 of 4, 3 games in 4 nights, 2 of those on the road, and a back-to-back is games 81 and 82. Very likely games 81 and 82 do not even matter for this team. So essentially, they have no back-to-backs the rest of the way.
Nice.
Right. I mean, with a 5-game lead, if they can just stay even with whatever Memphis has for a schedule, whatever Memphis does.
Memphis has won 1 game in 3 weeks.
Yeah. What is going on there? Like, how all of a sudden have they just fallen off the course so hard?
Because the season's hard. Because it's difficult. And teams, I'm telling you, teams do not win on the road. Not easily. 7 teams 500 or better, and the Nuggets are 500, and they're the best team in the West. It is damn hard to win on the road, and that's no exception. And Memphis was like ridiculous at home for a stretch of time. I mean, like absurd. So they're going to come back down. And they're a younger team that is not as scarred up or as experienced as the Nuggets. I have Memphis, bring them on. The only teams, here's a team that scares the crap out of me. This is horrific. You may get the Golden State Warriors as the 8th seed. A healthy Golden State Warriors team as the 8th seed. That scares me like no other team. And that might happen in the first round. I think the Nuggets can figure it out against anybody because I think they're destined to at least compete in the NBA Finals. Boston's a really good team too. But I like the Nuggets basically against anybody. But what we really haven't seen is a really healthy Golden State Warriors team this year. I'll go back to that Bill Russell documentary. The last year that Russell won a championship late, they were 4th. Like, they were terrible relatively. It doesn't matter. They have the experience here in the playoffs, and they figure out how to win anyways. I didn't even realize that as I was going back and watching that documentary. The Golden State Warriors guys scare the crap out of me. So I want anybody to finish 8th except for the Golden State Warriors. Anybody. Lakers. Rise up, Lakers. Let's go.
I'm good with that because, D-Mac, right now the Lakers are in 13th place. If they end up in the play-in, that means they finish the season maybe like 17-8. They'll be hot, and they've got that new-look team. Like, I kind of don't want the Lakers to sneak in there. I'm good with Utah or Portland still finding a way in there. But even worse than 8th, the way the play-in works, Golden State is 9 right now. So if they lose their first game, cool. We don't have to worry about it. If they win that first game and then win a second game, then they end up 8th with the 9 seed. So 8th, the 9 is just about the worst possible spot for Golden State to be. But I'm looking at it right now. Golden State is a game back of 5th. So they just need some things to go right. Yeah, like just get Golden State out of there, up or down, either way. Just pick one, please.
Please. Okay, we did have another question.
I don't mind facing the Warriors after the first round.
Yeah, that's fine.
That's fine. You got to face good teams. It's just the first round.
Agreed.
Losing in the first round. Oh my God.
Heartbreak. Heartbreak for Valentine's Day.
I can't even imagine it. It's unfathomable at this moment.
Yep. Okay, we did have another question coming from Edward, who says, "What do you think of Thomas Bryant's play?" Jake?
Last night was perfect. Comes in, plays 12, 15 minutes, scores 10 points, grabs 4 boards, something like that. That's perfect. That's exactly what the Nuggets need. They just need someone who can come in, score a little bit, give you some sort of, let's say the Nuggets check out Jokic at 50-50. As long as Nikola Jokic checks back in and the Nuggets are only down 2 or 4, then Thomas Bryant did his job. And that's what he did. It's fine.
Totally agree. Look good, takes up space, has length. 10 points, great, fine. And now you've got a collection of Thomas Bryant, Jeff Green, Zeke Naji when he gets healthy, DeAndre Jordan. We're good. That's fine. What I loved again last night is the assertive nature of Michael Porter Jr. Guys, this is really good news. We are building an amazing story in the back half of this year with this talented young guy who may be really coming into his own. And of course, I love Aaron Gordon and Jamal Murray, but Michael Porter Jr., man, that is, how are you going, if he plays, and he's off. He's been off with his 3-point shot, okay? But he's doing other things to contribute. His 3-point shot will come around, okay? It will. He's basically...
Oh, is he getting another call? He's getting another call. 2 calls in a row. Real quick, something I thought that was actually really funny. Oh, and Jake leaves me too. Apparently, everyone's leaving me. Oh, are we all back?
Yay!
What happened there? Did you get another call, D-Mac?
Rachel, I think I'm hated by most people. I've been told
until you get 2 calls
but
in 30 minutes?
Yeah, the level of popularity is absurd. Listen,
Jake?
Rachel, when are we in the studio? When is that happening?
I'm letting D-Mac off the hook. That was a glitch on our end with the service. So that
I was fine. I was chilling.
Then I don't know what happened because I froze completely for about 3 minutes and I was just faking my way like I knew what was on the screen.
Nice.
I couldn't see anything.
Nice. Okay.
Anyways, and
you
that's
did mention-
why, no, to wrap up my story that's why my wife and I are getting a divorce.
Because you ignore her phone calls?
Well, no, I mean, it's just, I already told the story. We'll just leave it there.
Okay, sounds good. Yes, since DMAC is sharing a little bit, I will say you're definitely going to want to stick around in the next 2 weeks because we will be debuting our new studio, which we are really excited about, you guys. It's a huge thing for Coffee Break. We're so excited about it. You're going to see us all argue in person now. Will there be a fist fight? You never know.
No!
You and James Marilla, I could see it.
On Valentine's Day, I'm a lover, not a fighter. There's no chance.
Here's the thing with James. He's like super Italian, a lot of hand waving. Like I can see an accidental punch because he's making a point.
He would just be like, oh my gosh. Anyways, okay, no fighting. I'm totally kidding, but we are really excited about our studio. So definitely stay tuned to Coffee Break in the next couple of weeks because that will be popping up. But let's get on to the Avalanche and the Lightning because while they did play a few days ago, they are definitely going to be back here at Ballerino, and it's been a minute, DMAC. So you actually get to go to a game, which are you excited about?
It has been a long time.
Yeah.
I'm happy to see all the my hockey muggles and see the players and Coach Bednar. I'm sure he'll be thrilled to see me again. I mean, they went on a break. We all need to go on a break, Valentine's Day, and then they had the All-Star game, and then they go back on a road trip. And I haven't seen these guys for a bit. They are in a tough spot. They're going to have to battle all the way to the end. Eric Johnson out. Manson's not quite back. Pavel Francouz has an injury. They brought up Johansson. I mean, it's Georgiev's game, but, I mean, they're the new backup goalie. And Carr, good news, he was in a red sweater at practice today with the boys on the ice. But, bad news, he's in a red sweater. He's not quite there. So you got the Lightning. They just embarrassed you. Yep. Back in their barn in Tampa. And now you need to, in my mind, you need to prove something here. I mean, I get it. You're down. You just haven't really been healthy the entire year. But so what? The excuses are just over, Rachel. This is more or less the team right now, and you have to show some fight. However, I am looking forward to I want them to go for it, Rachel. I want them to go for it at the trade deadline. I want them, if they think there's somebody out there to take that 2C, that second line center, to a higher level. I don't care. There's a core group, but if you guys trade Sam Girard, if you got to trade Alex Newhook, if you have to trade Olsen, who's a great young prospect with the Eagles, if you have to give up on the future just a little bit to win now, I'm all for it. I think the window's small. I don't want to just settle for whatever this year. We'll reboot next year and get healthier. I still want them to win this year. I think if they get into the playoffs, Rachel, they're a dangerous team, period, because of their experience and where they've been. But no joke, Rach, they got to get into the playoffs. And it's about that time that we recognize any point's a good point, and they got to scratch and claw to get there. And listen, how about it tonight? How about it tonight against a really good team that I don't know how they've done it. How the Lightning have stayed this good for this long
4 years.
Absolutely mind-blowing. So, real good test at home. I'm sure the crowd will be completely fired up for it. I'll be happy to be ignoring my wife and be there tonight. She's choosing not to be there. I should make that clear. She's choosing not to go. I mean, I'd be happy to sit with my lovely bride at the Avalanche game. I would love
real
to.
Quick. This maybe makes me young, and I hate the term bride.
Okay.
Is
my
that
partner
weird?
in life.
Is that weird? I really do.
No, not Rachel. I've
learned
nothing is weird with anything, and God forbid I judge anything. So if you say it's weird, it's weird. If you don't like it, I hate it. I'm gonna take my them, they, their, her, beautiful, smart, intelligent partner for life.
Wife? That works too.
I really just should have said wife, and that would have been fine. I just simply should have said wife. I would love to go with my wife, and that would have even been better.
Oh my gosh. All right. Well, let's get back to the game. Our prop shot brought to you by Superbook Sports. Over under 6 goals. What's interesting about this is usually it's like 6.5 because then they've got the separation, right? But it's just 6 tonight. So over or under 6 goals.
I think 6 is the number. Golly. I'll go. Oh boy. If I go over, that's probably bad news for the Avalanche. I'll stay optimistic. I'll say under. I'll say a nice God, that is really tough. No wonder this stuff is so hard. I will say under because I'm rooting for the Avs, so they get like a nice 4-1 victory.
Okay. Wow, 4-1.
Yeah, because if it's over, it means we're gonna lose like 5-3.
Yeah.
If I bet the over, if I'm thinking over, I'm thinking the Lightning are gonna win. Period. That means Georgie's giving up some soft goals. They have to battle from behind. There's probably an empty netter, garbage goal near the end. I mean, It's bad news if it's the over.
Have we heard anything on Francouz and when he's possibly returning?
No, that one caught everybody by surprise.
Yeah.
Of course, it's hockey, Rachel. Who knows exactly what it is? Nobody really knows. Lower body. I mean, it was bad enough to call up Johansson from the minors. So it's not like they can just sort of ride it out with Frankie, or he could kind of play if he had to. No, they got a replacement for him. So don't know, not sure.
Okay, it's the injuries, man. They're just stressing me out so much.
Well, what do you think the Avs are going to do tonight?
Do you really
I think they're going to lose. Just say it.
Yo,
say
I
it.
don't
You have doubt in your heart.
But maybe they're gonna, give all the couples besides you that go to the game a wonderful win.
Wow.
I don't think they're gonna win tonight. I think it's gonna be like 5-2. So the Lightning, here's the thing about the Lightning, when we talked a little bit about it, is they have been so consistently good all the time. And when you are that good all the time, that means you have insane depth, but you also have really good leadership. And I think that's one area where people are probably going to get mad at me, is that you're missing some of that leadership not being out on the ice at all times. You're missing a Cale Makar not being out there. Gabe Landeskog, of course you're missing him out there when we all thought we were going to see him a month ago. Like, you're just missing some of those key pieces. But the Lightning are just so dang good. I'm sorry. I don't
Rachel, you are a Avalanche heartbreaker on this Valentine's Day, but you spit truth bombs from your cold, bitter, doubtful heart for the Avalanche. Listen, I don't blame you. Hey, I think the Avalanche are at a point they need to prove some things to the fans because there is doubt
back out there.
I get it. I guess I'm feeling more filled with love on this Tuesday.
Yeah, I'm just the Grinch. We don't have an update on EJ either, do we?
No.
The injuries are just
I mean, so you're missing Makar, Johnson, Manson. You're missing half of the core of your defense. Rachel, they just have never. Landeskog, of course, has been out. McKinnon was out for a good chunk. The Chushkin's been in and out after an amazing start. I mean, it's Frankie now is dinged up. I mean, it's been brutal.
It's the leadership, and it's killing me. It's really sad. Like, we all had such high hopes for this season, but it really does just suck.
It does, but you know what? We're not even at the trade deadline. They got 4 big impact players with Cogliano, Sturm, Lehkonen, and Manson last year. Rachel, we got 4 highly impactful players at the trade deadline last year. So let's just try to keep our heads above water and see what Chris McFarland, Joe Sakic, and Bednar and all those guys come up with.
Valentine is playing tonight.
Okay, good. I'm happy to hear that.
That is,
none of these guys, the problem, that's great that he's playing. They're just not like themselves, though. They're not.
Because they're not consistently playing out there, and not all the lines are together all the time. Like, their chemistry isn't building. It's the leadership that we need back out there, and it is driving me crazy.
But meantime, I'll give you some good news. That win against Florida was a big time win. You got to go from Logan O'Connor, who it's been it's a 38, 39 games, something like that, between goals for Logan O'Connor. So great. Matt Nieto picked up a goal for you. Oh, wow. Okay, cool, that's great. And then, some of your big guns, chimed in. So if you can get some contributions from just some other people every now and then, it's just gonna lift the load a little bit. So great sign with the win in Florida, and hopefully they can just carry some of that momentum with them tonight. I'm sure it'll be a packed house. There'll be a lot of people, a lot more romantic than me, that figured out how to, do this Valentine's Day the right way.
Okay, well, I'm sorry I'm being the Grinch. I do not think that they will walk away winners tonight, but I am happy that Valenchushkin is coming back. That's a big
Rachel,
deal.
I got to ask you, when you put that dress on and you're at your prom, like, what song just do you got to hear to get with your guy out on that dance floor? What is the song that's just going to send your heart aflutter in that outfit?
I actually don't like to slow dance or anything of that nature. So I could tell you what I would listen to. I could tell you my party song.
Wait, you don't have any slow song? You don't have any dance? You have nothing? There's not one, like, just sort of, tung 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 tung.
I mean, there's like
nothing?
certain songs I really like, but I think would be, I don't know, like slow dancing to them would make
What
me
is the song you want to slow dance with your boyfriend to? What is it?
I don't know. I'm not a dancer. Why are you putting me on the spot? I'm not a dancer. I don't like to slow dance. And neither does he. That's why we work so well together. We're not the couple that runs out there and, like, at a wedding automatically, and we're like, oh my gosh, we have to go dance to this. We're not that couple.
Wait, you and your guy don't have a song?
Mm-mm. We have we have a bunch. Here's my, okay, for anyone, whenever I decide to get married, I guess. What I want to do is both pick a song and, like, not tell the other person, and then have somebody mash it up, like, for a wedding song, so that it's like, oh, when you're listening to it, it's like, oh, this song makes me think of you, and then you have the other person do it, and it's a surprise for both. And then you can have, like, if you both do like a song that you need is the song, you can have it end on that song. How cute though, right?
I love it. What would your song be?
Thank you. I don't know. It's definitely changed multiple times over the year.
What is it right now, this second? Don't think about it. What is it?
So there would be two. It's Not Better Man, Good Something by Gabby Bear. I can't think of it right now on the top of my head. Or Thank God by Kane Brown and Caitlin Brown. Love both those songs.
There you go.
Thank you. Anyways, that's a look into my love life. And D-Mac's going alone to the Avs game tonight. So again, we hope everybody has a wonderful Valentine's Day. Thank you for hanging out with us here on Coffee Break for the last 50 minutes or so. And we'll be back tomorrow morning, 10:30 a.m. for another episode. And we'll see you guys then. Let us know what you're doing for Valentine's Day in the comments. Have a wonderful one, everyone. Peace.